In this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps involved in creating a calendar table in Power BI Desktop. This method is going to use the Power Query Editor and the functionality in that to generate the table. So the first step is to open a blank query. You can do that from the main screen by going to the Get Data option and then selecting Blank Query. This will initiate an instance of Power Query Editor to open up. If you're already in Power Query Editor, the same functions available under New Source. There's blank query there. But we've got ours here already. So the first step is to specify the start point, the initial date for our calendar table. So I do that by specifying the date. And for this one, I'm going to do the 1st of January 2015. There we go. So just hit enter there. Generates our date. And then we want to generate a list casting forward from that date. So to do that, we go into the View menu, then the Advanced Editor, and then we can build up this step by step, but just for quickness, I'm going to overwrite this with the different steps involved, and I'll briefly mention what each line is doing. So years to generate, as the name suggests, that's how many years we're going to cast forward from that start point. The options here are years to generate times 366 just allows for leap years within our date range. And finally, the duration is the increments by which you want each line of your table to progress. So in this case, it's 1 day. The other options are hours, minutes, and seconds, but we want a line for each day in our calendar table. So that's what that one there does. And then we need to change this to the base list. It looks like it accepts the syntax, so we'll click done, and that should create our list of values. The next step is to convert our list to a table. So we use the pre-built option in here to do that. So I'm just going to click that. Just keep the defaults here. We've only got one line at present, so okay that. And now we have our list of dates in one column of a new table. So the first thing I want to do is, this is a date value, so I'm going to change it from the default to a date. I'm also going to change the name to date. And I'm going to change the query name to calendar. Now, from here, we can build up the various additional columns based on our initial date value. If I highlight the column, go to Add Column, and then under the Date drop-down, there's various attributes that we can attach to the date. So we can strip out the year, and always make sure you're back on the source column before you initiate a function. So I also want to get the month. I'm going to pick the month name, I think, and the day of the month, and why not the day name. And let's say the day of the week, just for completeness, just to illustrate the point. But there's multiple other options there that you can see. Now, just using the standard functionality within Power Query Editor, you can reformat these as you wish. I'm going to change them to text so we don't use them as numerics. And once I'm happy with all of that, I'm going to go back to the home function and close and apply. And there we go. And that'll just, if we just drag in a few of these objects. and that'll just work exactly like all the normal functionality that you require. Now, just one final point. This code is reusable, so if you do want to make use of the same sort of like logic to create the same sort of standard calendar table, instead of having to go through each step individually, you can just copy and paste the code that you've generated. I'll just quickly go through that. So there's all that formatting that we did. So if I just copy that, save it out somewhere, and then the next time we have a need to generate a similar calendar table, we can just go through the initial step to kind of get our prompt for an initial date, and then just paste that code in, and it should generate the calendar the way you've already specified. And that's that.